I think I'm hallucinating right now because this can't be real. What I'm seeing can't be real. There is no way. There is no way.
Has anybody else noticed the rampant food inflation in the UK? In April, I paid £9.40 for 2 organic rump steaks. The same steaks are now £12.60.
What in the cost of living crisis, broken Britain, bar humbug Christmas is this bullshit?
Kicking off. Streets of London.
Just another reason we're leaving this country. I'm using the income that I've paid tax on to buy fuel that I pay tax on, to put in a car that I pay tax on, to drive on a road that I pay tax on.
People should buy less Costa coffees and go on less holidays and not go out for dinner so often, and then they'll be able to pay the electricity bill.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
For a lot of people in the UK, it's not just about coffee, holidays, or eating out. Many families are struggling to meet their basic needs. People are putting everyday essentials on credit cards, not luxuries, but food, petrol, housing costs, toiletries, just getting through the week. And that's before we even talk about bills, taxes, and all the extra costs that quietly stack up. So when the conversation is reduced to cutting back, it misses what's really happening on the ground. This isn't about poor choices. It's about rising costs outpacing real life. Let's hear from the people who are affected.
Yeah, the cost of living is crazy. Look at all of this you could get. Look at all of that. That was only 2019. Look at that. They put that in a museum. They already know we're never going to get them prices again.
This can't be fucking real. £8.10. £8 for some toothpaste. What the fuck?
£34,000 isn't a good salary, especially if you're living in London. Let me break this down. There's a girl on TikTok that made a video talking about how £34,000 living in London isn't a good salary because it doesn't go anywhere. And I totally agree with her. As somebody that has been in that situation in the past, when there wasn't really a cost of living crisis, I know how hard it was to kind of get by with £34,000. Now talk about when we have a cost of living crisis. Rent is just ridiculous. If you're a single person, you might just be able to get by. And that is the mentality I need people to shift away from. Just being able to get by isn't living. Isn't adequate. People are just getting by with the bare minimum. And some people are out here in her comments talking about how no, £34,000 is a lot of money. No, it isn't a lot of money, especially if you're living in London. And when you break that £34,000, your monthly take home is around £2,200 to £3,000 a month. That isn't a lot because you're going to spend a lot of that money on accommodation. You still have to worry about transportation. You still have to worry about your feeding. There's just going to be a lot of money they're going to be spending. And that's how a lot of people are getting into debt, because they have to finance their life by actually having to borrow money, spend money on credit card, because the money, £34,000, isn't a lot of money. In London, even on some outskirts of London or outside London, depends on the kind of life you're living, £34,000 doesn't go a long way. If you're a single person, you might just get by. But if you are a person with a family, it's a different ballgame.
I think I'm hallucinating right now because this can't be real. What I'm seeing can't be real. There is no way. There is no way.
So what do you think about the cost of living crisis in the UK?
I think it's terrible. I think people are getting overcharged. People aren't affording stuff. People are taking loans out to pay for stuff. It shouldn't be that way.
What do you think people are doing to tackle the situation?
Nothing. People are living day by day by day by day. No one's looking at stuff in a month's time, in a year's time. No one really has a plan. They live, I'd say, weekly by weekly. Yeah.
What the fuck is going on in the UK? Childcare costs, horrendous. Car insurance, horrendous. Shopping, double horrendous. Like, everything costs a fucking fortune. Now, luckily, I'm in a position where I can afford it. What are people doing, yeah, haven't got much money. What the fuck? All our bills are rising, but what if you've not got a little bit of money to make up for that bill that's increasing? Then what do you do? I am literally fed up with this country. I just want out. I mean, I know nowhere else is perfect, but just the cost of living is getting ridiculous. And then actually, living's just poor. Like, people, I feel like people are just surviving. Every other day, I am seeing people posting that they are just working to survive. They've got nothing to show for the money that they're earning. It's just a sad, sad existence, and I'm not fucking here for it.
What in the cost of living crisis, broken Britain, bar humbug Christmas is this bullshit? Now, I've done a few of these videos. This one might be the best so far. People complaining they've not got any money. Well, I tell you what, if you're buying this, you've got fucking more money than sense, even if you have got something like an IQ of 160. So I went a bit of Christmas shopping today, went into a new Marks and Spencer's that's opened up not far away from where I am. Beautiful, it's absolutely enormous. Went to the food court. As I'm just walking along, I turn to the right and I see a fridge. And in the fridge are some pies. Yes, pies. Pastry, meat, veg. You will not believe the fucking price of these pies. Admittedly, one of them was a steak pie, a Wagyu steak, whatever that is. Looks like there's more fat than meat in it to me. And one of them was a chicken pie. Let me show you the price, but before I do, you've got to comment right now how much you think they were. Now, these were big pies that feed a family of, I don't know, 5 or 6 people. But it was a pie nonetheless. So in the comments, before I show you the little video I've made, tell me how much you think they were. Marks and Spencer's, top of the range, mind you. What do you think? And if you've got this far, make sure you follow me, because I love finding Broken Britain bullshit videos. Anyway, here goes.
I'm having straight up panic attack here. £160. That is all I have got for this week. I don't know if I've overspent, it's Barclays, whatever. £160. Mind you, I need petrol, I need food, I've got one on a free from diet, I need nappies, I need cleaning stuff, I need to live, pack-ups for school. If you know me, you know that this and having to stick to a budget is going to send me into overdrive. Even if I see gaps in my cupboard or my fridge or my freezer, I have straight up panic attacks. You don't understand. Even with years of trauma treatment, this is giving me anxiety past a point, right? As you can tell, I'm getting worked up telling you. £160 to live on for a week with petrol, with pack-ups, with food, everything. I don't know I'm going to do it. I really don't. I'm going to have to log it. I'm going to have to progress it because I can't go over.
Could you live on 70 quid a week?
Absolutely not.
So why do you expect young people to? Some young people are going to be living on around £70 a week.
No, people with significant disabilities will be protected. They will not only will they be protected within the universal credit system, which is the one you're mentioning, but they'll also be able to apply for personal independence payments. So people with significant disabilities, if they are young, if they're currently receiving UC Health, they will continue to receive it, and if they have significant disabilities, they will still be able to apply for personal independence payment. But we are not going to write off 21-year-olds.
For those who can't, they'll be living on about 70 quid.
We are not going to write off 21-year-olds as unable to work.
For those who can't, they'll be living on about £70 a week.
Okay, I'm going to move out the way. Guess how much all this was, yeah? Guess how much? 4 items. Pads and a meal deal. Pads and a meal deal. Let's just guess that. £6.70. Who's paying that? Who is paying that? Me, the absolute fool, the clown. Yeah, £6.70, and that was meant to be what? 6, 7, 8. That would have been £9. £9 British pounds for 4 items. You know that's nearly someone's hourly pay. Like a few more pounds, a couple more pounds, like 1, 2, 3 more pounds. That's an hour's work gone for sanitary pads and a meal deal for one day. Come on. Like, the UK has actually lost the plot. They've lost the plot. I'm done. I'm finished. And people are coming at me in the comments on my last video saying, oh, the UK is what you make it. Life's what you make it. You know, you can do this. No. The stuff, we're in a cost of living crisis here. The stuff that we pay for to live is costing way too much. Like, we work to live. We don't work to do anything else but live and survive.
Guys, where is the cutoff for the people who start paying tax at 12k? Tell me fucking this right now. I'm looking at it and it's saying 12,450, whatever it is. I divide that bitch by 12, it's giving £1,047.50. And apparently that's supposed to be your standard allowance for the month. Mind you, rent, let's not even talk about rent because the bitch, you know, ugh. And then on top of rent, you've got your bills. On top of your bills, you've got your commute money. On top of your commute money, you have to pay for food. And where is the enjoyment? On this standard living allowance government, where is the joy? Where is the living? Because at £1,047, you lot, social experiment, you lot go do that for 1 month. Empty the fridge out, start from scratch and see if you lot can hee hee ha ha on £1,047.50, bitch. Because at the base rate of rent these days giving more than 650 plus, I want to see you live, laugh, love on £1,047. My suggestion to y'all is move that bitch up to either 16k or 19k so people can breathe a little.
I just find it so crazy how it's basically normalized at this point to literally just do your job, pay your bills, and barely be able to save at the end of the month. Like, it's just so normalized to go to a grocery store and literally panic every time you go grocery shopping because everything's just so fucking expensive, and every time you go to the shop, everything's just like doubled in price. I was having a conversation with my sister and I was just saying, like, I'm so fucking upset that I can't spend the money that I want to spend on my family for Christmas because everything, like, just surviving is so fucking expensive. Like, yes, like, I am not as poor as some people, that I know some people are literally struggling to even, like, exist. I'm getting by paycheck to paycheck, and it's insane how normalized it has become. That we spend most of our lives working and all we are doing is surviving. We're not doing anything. We're just literally surviving. Like, most of us can't even afford to buy a fucking shitty flat, for fuck's sake. Every year, electric goes up, everything goes up, everything but the salary. And I'm just like, it's so fucking normalized. And it's literally gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse.
The average wage is 27,000. The average house price is 500,000. The average person can no longer afford the average home. This is scary. Just move out of London if you can't afford it. So if you have a 5-year-old or 7-year-old and they've been in school and you want to move them to a different city, what about the psychological areas of that?
Why is the UK actually batshit crazy at the moment? Like, I feel like I don't do anything. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't have any hobbies. All I do is breathe and eat. And at the end of the month, I've spent thousands of pounds. Like, the sun has been shining for months and it's actually still so depressing. I feel like, yeah, every time I go and buy something, I do a double take and I'm like, swear that was 60 pence cheaper last week. Now it's like more expensive. Go and buy a coffee. Apparently it's £3.60 for a coffee now. About the same price as Geneva, one of the world's most expensive cities. I live in the north of England. The salaries here do not match the salaries in Switzerland, I'll tell you now. And I just feel like it's not sustainable for anyone. It's impacting people's mental health, and everyone just feels like they're just surviving, really. It's awful, absolutely awful.
The cost of living is hitting hard, and families across the UK are feeling the pinch. From rising grocery bills and petrol prices to childcare and everyday essentials, the impact is real and relentless. Many are turning to credit cards, loans, or extra work just to cover the basics, just to stay afloat. Of course, not everyone is affected in the same way, but this is definitely a growing concern. Food banks and social welfare programs are seeing demand spike, and that tells a story we cannot ignore.
Here's 3 frugal lifestyle hacks that we live by as a dink couple in our late 20s. Our goal is to build wealth and save money, so these little hacks cut costs over time. So the first one is I always use expensive shampoo to wash my hair, but when I first wash my hair, I use a cheap shampoo. The cheap shampoo gets the dirt and the grease out of the way, and then you're actually letting your expensive shampoo do the work, and you're not using as much product. The next hack, sticking with the hygiene theme, is we buy bars of soap. Not only does this make you feel loads cleaner, but they last way longer, and it also works out a lot cheaper than buying lots of bottles of shower gel. This really reduces plastic plastic waste, which I'm here for. And the last one is we are going to save for something to buy it. We are not going to get into debt for it. So if we can't afford it, we don't buy it. Like, I need a new phone at the minute, so I'm just going to put some money aside each month until I can afford one, rather than going into debt.
Here are 3 potentially controversial money saving things we do as a family of 4 surviving on 1 income. Number 1, we don't buy new toys. Why? Because between Facebook Marketplace, Vinted, and the never-ending cycle of kids getting bored of things in 5 minutes, we refuse to pay full price for plastic that will inevitably end up under the sofa. We're teaching our kids it's cool to get pre-loved things, but also that if they don't use something anymore, they can sell it or pass it on. Cheaper, yes. More sustainable, yes. Does our 4-year-old care if his toy car has had a previous owner? Not even slightly. It's a win-win, unless you're the person trying to fit a second-hand plastic playhouse into the back of a hatchback. Number 2, cheap meal. Instead of only shopping at budget supermarkets, we strategically plan a few cheaper dinners each week to keep the costs down. Think green pasta, Greek lentils, or anything that can be bulked out with suspicious amounts of chickpeas. Because let's be honest, sometimes budgeting isn't about where you shop, but whether or not you can emotionally handle eating lentils again. Number 3, we don't have Netflix. I know, scandalous. We do, however, have Disney Plus because kids. But Netflix, gone. Paying for 2 streaming services in this economy? Absolutely not. And guess what? Life went on. Instead, we watch ITV Player and Channel 4 on demand for free. It's a great budget hack, but also a true test of patience, because nothing builds character like sitting through 8 minutes of ads just to watch Ant and Dec's Saturday Night Takeaway. I'm just kidding, we don't watch that shit. Do we miss ad-free streaming? Sure. Do we enjoy feeling morally superior about it? Definitely. And those are our top 3 questionable money-saving habits. Would you do any of these, or do you think we've gone full cheapskate?
Here are some things that I do in a day that sound broke, but they're actually smart. Number 1, when you go out and you're not stocking up on napkins, what are you doing? The napkins are free. It is not stealing. If I'm out getting food, I grab as many napkins as I can. Most of the time, it's billion-dollar companies. They'll be okay if I take about 20 napkins. Number 2, cut your sponges in half. Literally increases the longevity of the sponge that you're using. You don't need that big of a sponge. Cut it in half. Number 3, if you cannot buy reusable bags, just reuse Ziploc bags. I reuse all my Ziploc bags. Like, why are we throwing away perfectly good bags? Number 4, when my soap gets about this much, I add more water to it to increase the longevity of my item. At the end of the day, it's still soap and my dishes are still getting clean. Number 5, this is a weird one. I don't have a microwave. For some reason, my brain thinks that if I have a microwave, I'm going to spend more money on things that need to be microwaved that I don't actually need. I don't need microwave popcorn. I should not be buying that. When I'm out at a restaurant, I order small. I order small because I have no microwave, so there's no point in having leftovers. Listen, don't judge me until you've tried it. What do y'all think? Do you think I'm broke, or do you think I'm being frugal? Let me know. Love you guys. Stay frugal.
Things that I've stopped spending my money on as someone who is trying to budget and is on £37,500 a year, which is a moderate wage in the southeast, working in London. So number 1, and this is like one of the top things that I have tried to save my money on, is buying coffee when I go into London and I'm out at the weekends, because it is extortionate. £4.50 for a coffee, a small coconut latte. It's extortionate. So I have got my own Chili's little portable flask now, coffee flask, which I take into the office with me. I buy my coffee pods from Asda, I get the Starbucks ones, or I've actually tried the Aldi ones. They need a bit of sweetener in, so, you know, not the best, but yeah, I buy my own coconut milk and I have my own coffee machine, so I've been doing it at home. The second thing is nails. I do my own nails now. I find that it's easier. It takes more time, but you're spending like £40-45 for a good set of gels, and you need them doing like every 3 weeks, and it was getting a lot. I don't have that disposable income. Well, I do, but I just don't want to spend it on that. The third thing is I no longer have my eyebrows done as much. I was getting into a phase of getting my eyebrows done like every 4 to 5 weeks. And to be honest, it was a lot of money. I was suffering because I've really sensitive skin and I use retinol. I'd be tearing, and it just wasn't good for me. So I'm going to maybe get them threaded. I do want to get a lamination again at some point, but at the moment they're fine. The fourth thing that I have been saving my money on is trying not to eat out as much, because A, I'm trying to lose some weight, and B, it costs a lot of money. Like a Nando's used to be the best part of a tenner, and now it's like £17. So I'm never saying I'm never going to rule out going out for dinner again. I do like going out for dinner. I do like getting takeaways, but it's the best way to save some money is just stop eating out as much. Number 5 is I've stopped buying the branded cosmetics, sanitary products, toiletries. I don't buy the branded tampons anymore because they're like £5 for a pack of 20 when you can get a pack of 24 for like £2.50. I buy the Asda own or the Aldi own shower gel because it doesn't make a difference. You're only washing your body with it. I have stopped buying the branded soaps, the branded washing up liquid, laundry detergent, softener, paracetamol, ibuprofen, all of that stuff. I just buy own brand now. Cold and flu tablets, they all have the same ingredients in them, but they're just cheaper because they are made by the supermarket, Aldi, Asda, Sainsbury's, stuff like that. And honestly, you can't notice the difference.
Here are 5 more frugal hacks that you can use every day to save money. Number 1, use cash for small purchases. Withdraw a small amount of cash like every week or so. And the rule is if you run out of cash, you can no longer spend money. Number 2, DIY cleaning products, especially if you have pets. A little vinegar and baking soda go a long way and you're not spending like $20 on some Clorox. Number 3, borrow or swap before buying. I needed bleach and I went upstairs to my neighbor and I was like, hey, do you guys like have bleach? And they had it and I did not need to spend $8 on bleach. It's great. Number 4, meal plan around what you already have in your house. Stop saying, what do I eat? And start asking yourself, what can I make? I had some white rice in my cabinet and I had some frozen peas and I had rice and peas, y'all. Number 5, this last one is from Bradley on a Budget. It sounds crazy, but if you're not using a certain appliance, unplug it. You'll save a couple of bucks a month, okay? Try it. It's worth it.
So you want to save some money. Quickest way to save some money is to stop spending it. Have you got shit all over your bedroom floor? If you do, you don't need to buy anything else. Take the apps off your phone and stop torturing yourself. You don't need packages in the post every day. How much your electricity bill is? Do you turn your oven on every day? Are you using your dryer all the time? Do you know you can hang out your clothes for free? That's free shit right there. Hang your clothes out, stop being lazy. How often are you eating out anyway? Are you eating breakfast out every day? Do you get yourself dinner every day? Are you rich? I know the answer to that question. Make your food at home and stop being lazy. And then write yourself a budget. Do you have one of those? And when you finish that, make yourself a cup of tea. The tea bag from your own will cost you about a penny. And that's how you save some money.
Not to be dramatic, but these 3 frugal lifestyle hacks changed our lives. As a financially savvy dink couple in their late 20s. The first one is we are just not latest gadget people. If we have one thing in our house and it does the job, then we don't need to buy a new one or we don't need to get the latest version. That goes for all household appliances and we very rarely upgrade phones and things like that. We're happy with what we've got until it breaks. The second one is no fancy cars. We don't want to go on finance. We don't want to have any payment plans. We just want to buy our cars outright and run them into the ground. And then in addition to that, we actually just share a car, so that lowers our costs even more. But cars just really isn't something that we value. And the final one is we are in every single rewards program you probably could be in. Sainsbury's, we've got Nectar. Tesco, we've got Club Card. IKEA, we're in the family. And they always send you discounts and codes to use. Like I'm in the B&Q rewards program and they sent me an £8 off voucher and we're getting our hallway done. So it is small savings, but it's going to come in handy. So there's our 3 frugal hacks. Let me know yours in the comments and follow me for more personal finance content.
I'm going to share this embarrassing frugal hack that I've never ever told anyone before. We don't have the heating on in our house very often. We use a log burner downstairs, but at night upstairs it can get quite chilly in bed. Me and the kids all have hot water bottles, but instead of emptying the water out each night and refilling it out the tap, I just reboil the same water. I don't drink hot drinks at home, so I don't mind the kettle getting a bit grotty. That's if this actually does anything to it. I haven't noticed it doing. It does get descaled every few weeks because of the hard water around here. I'm sure we can all agree that gas and electric bills are ridiculous right now, so as well as this saving water money, using a hot water bottle instead of having the heating on really does help on the gas and electric bills as well. And I know this only saves me pence in the grand scheme of things in my water bill, but it does all add up. So judge me or love me, now you know one of my weird frugal hacks.
These saving tips that have changed my life and helped me to save more in the last couple of months than I have in my entire life, right? You need to audit your money. You need to know where your money is going. You cannot just be getting paid and just be hoping for the best or going out with vendors and looking at your bank account after. You need to know where your money goes. You need to know before your money gets into your account where every single penny is supposed to be. No, we'll just wing it, because keep winging it and you're going to be 60 with no retirement plan. That's number 1. And all of that going out on with your friends on a weekend away and looking at your bank account after needs to stop. You are an adult. That is not attractive. That is not attractive. You need to know before the weekend away what you're willing to spend. Even if it means you don't trust yourself and you only bring £100 instead of bringing the whole 500 on your card, then do that. Number 2, you do not need to eat like a king on your break at work. Stop with the food at work. I had to, oh my gosh, I was spending like £10 a day on what? I now go to Lidl and meal prep, and I literally spend about £15 from Monday to Friday. You cannot be eating like that at work. If you can afford it, fantastic. This video is not for those that can afford these things. If you can afford these things, please do not comment that you can afford these things. The video is not for that. It's for those that know that they're spending too much money on something and they need to stop. Number 3, you do not need a new outfit every time you go out. And I'm speaking to my old self. You do not need an outfit every time you go out. Stop buying dresses, stop buying jumpsuits, start buying 2 pieces that you can pair with other stuff. That's one of the biggest things I learned. I used to buy a dress every single time I went out, and I only wore a dress once. Who am I? I'm not Beyonce. Even famous people don't do that. They get gifted things.
In 4 years, I managed to save over £20,000. I'm going to share with you those tips that I used to help me save that amount of money. Number 1 was never buying a new car. Now, I had the same car for 14 years. I had a Nissan Micra. People kept nagging me into getting a newer car, but I didn't need it. Now, there was nothing wrong with it. I very rarely had problems with it. It was good on petrol. You know, don't let people nag you into buying a new car, because the minute you drive out the showroom, it will depreciate in value and you will lose loads of money. If you're trying to save, especially for a house, I can't stress how important this is. Do not buy a new car. Number 2, I've never really been into designer clothes. As you can see, I'm not exactly, you know, the most fashionable person in the world. I shop at Primark, Tesco's. I've never spent loads of money on designer clothes because I just think it's a waste of money. You know, shop frugally. Wear, you know, cheap clothes, it's fine, because at the end of the day, it's only you're the only one that knows if it's real or not. And often even designer brands can fall apart after a short time. The third thing I did was, when I lived in a shared house. Now, people would often nag me into, I rented a flat on my own, but there was no way I could justify spending £1,200 a month living in London trying to rent a room by myself in a flat. I always house shared. I shared with 4 or 5 other people. Now, I know not everyone likes house sharing and it can be a bit risky and people may have had bad experiences doing it, but it worked for me. Yes, I did have times when I didn't really enjoy it, but my main goal was saving money, and I was saving over £1,000 a month by sharing. I was paying, you know, £500 a month for a room instead of, you know, £1,500 for a flat plus bills. So if you can, always share, because it will make your life easier. If you follow these tips, you will save a ton of money, trust me.
One tip that I learned from the people in my life who are the best with their money is to pretend that you don't have it. The key to having money is to live like you're broke. And I don't mean be a complete cheapskate and never allow yourself anything and never go on vacation, but it's once you enter that next level, that next promotion, whatever, don't all of a sudden break your lease, get a brand new apartment, get a new car, do all of these things, because you're gonna be in the same rat race that you were before. Your bank account is gonna stay the same because now your expenses are higher. So it's like, yes, you might be like up leveling your life in certain aspects, but you're actually still gonna be in the same position. My husband is one of those people where, like, he has money, but he doesn't spend it in a way that's like performative, or he's not flexing, and he's always saying like, unless I can afford it 4 times over and then some, we don't need it. So while yes, he's not like a cheapskate by any means, he's actually very generous. He's just very frugal and genuinely thinks about his purchases, researches, makes informed decisions. On the back end is investing and doing all these things and making sure that his ducks are in a row before he starts making like crazy purchases. Even like when he got a new job, he wasn't like, okay, time to get a new house, time to do this, like we got more money, you know? Like our level of living didn't change drastically just because maybe we have more money now. We're kind of living the same, but you're just setting yourself up for even better in the future.
This is how I save hundreds of pounds a month on groceries, and how you can do it too. Hi, I'm Ruth and I help people save money on their groceries in the UK, and I shop monthly for our groceries. This is how I prepare for a monthly shop. Firstly, I set a clear budget. Secondly, I take inventory of what we have in the house already. I'll start to plan a meal plan for next month from the foods that are already remaining in the house from last month. Throughout the month, I keep a running document on Google Sheets. So on the spreadsheet, I'm creating next month's grocery shop essentially. I'm also keeping an eye if there's anything that we use all the time that I could buy in bulk, and I'm tracking prices on there as well. You've got to be flexible when you shop monthly to get the best out of your food and your budget. For this reason, we keep things quite simple with our meals. And a big goal for me is to have an empty fridge before I shop next. Save this for later and follow along for more.
Here are the cheapest supermarkets in the UK for December 2025, ranked from most expensive to cheapest. And this is based on the average price of 70 items. So the most expensive supermarket in the UK is Waitrose at an average price of £166.79 for 70 items. Next on the list is a supermarket I've actually never heard of. It must be a London thing, but the average price for 70 items is £154.37. Next is Sainsbury's, which is £141.62. Next is Sainsbury's with Nectar, which is £137.77. In 7th place is Morrison's with an average price of £137.40. 6th is Tesco, £136.20. 5th is Tesco with a club card, which is £133.65. In at 4th is Asda at £133.59. In at 3rd, which I thought would be number 1, is Lidl at £122.40. Next is Lidl with a plus card, which is £122.35. And in at 1st place for the cheapest supermarket in the UK for December 2025 is Aldi at £121.22.
What you have just seen are some of the ways people are managing the rising cost of living. These aren't the only solutions. Everyone's situation is different, and there is no one-size-fits-all answer. I want to hear from you. What's working for you? What strategies help you cope? And if you have concerns, frustrations, or thoughts about the cost of living crisis, share those too. Your voice matters. Until next time, this is Blue Book Reflections. If you have made it this far, thank you so much for being here. Please like, subscribe, comment, and share so we can continue this discussion.